loyal like a puppy. Oh, she's awesome, but you just don't know. Where I first, woo, and the burdens of my heart they rolled away. It was there by faith that I received my sight, and now I am happy all the day. Don't. I'm not switch keys, but I gotta switch keys with you for a second. Because we're walking along with the Savior. We found him to the cross and then got beyond the cross. But now I'm going to talk about what happens as a result of the cross. To the cross, through the cross, on the other side of the cross, right there, that's at the cross. But we're going to talk about what happens as a result of the cross. Saved by his power divine. Saved to make life sublime. Life now is sweet and my joy is complete. For I'm saved. Oh, I'm saved. I'm saved. Okay, God. Yes, God. Try church with yourself. Pastor said preach to yourself, but I don't know if that works. I think you have to have preaching and worship with yourself. You have to preach to yourself and then worship with yourself. Because if I don't have the songs, if I don't have the songs of Zion, if I'm not singing along with my worship, that is something I will always be missing. I am saved by his power divine. Saved, God who made life sublime. Life now is sweet and my joy is complete, for I'm saved. Yes, God, saved. I'm saved. God let me know while I was singing that. He said, the widow of Zarephath, you need word and worship. And the widow of Zarephath only had word. Remember, she's praying. So she said word up to God. Right? We said you send your prayer up in the praise vehicle. Right? And you have to make sure it's all up and ready. You got to be, I'm all up and ready. You got to be all up and ready right in that praise vehicle. But if you don't have what's supposed to be in the vehicle, right, her oil is sitting in the cruise. So her crock of the seeds, we don't know. Right? So you don't have what's supposed to have in that vehicle, that crummy seeds, right? And it falls straight back down and hit you in the head. And then he said she had word but no worship, right? So I could pray all day with word, but if I don't have worship backing it up, God said back it up. You ever see somebody? My uncles do it all the time. The cousins, everybody would drive all the way down the street, always to drive backwards, right? All the way back down the street because they want to look flat. Like, I want to drive back down the street. I want to be going in the reverse. We always loved it because it was fun, but we knew it was dangerous, right? So I'm like, don't be driving in that car with them kids backwards down the street, yeah. And he still doing it anyway because it was fun for us, right? It was fun, right? So we go backwards down the street. But here's the thing. God said, back it up. He said, you didn't lose anything. You would get everything that you're praying for. Just give it. You can take your car, your Uber, and back it up, back the Uber up, back the up of the Uber, up Uber, Uber it up, back it up. God said, you may have sent your prayer up in a praise vehicle, or you thought you were sending your prayer up in a praise vehicle, but you may have just sent your prayer up and may have been just a vehicle, or you may have had a praise vehicle that was oiled up and ready, but you may not have the right type of prayer. Right? I said, because if you're not praying in God's will, if you don't give God a Gethsemane prayer, He's not hearing it anyway. Salvation prayer. God save me. You know how that works all the time? Because God's will is that you be saved. Every prayer is not for you. If not prayer is not for this day, right? And then some prayers might have worked 100 years ago, even for me, but just don't work today. God said, are you saved? Yes, God, yes, God. Prayers work, but prayers are time. Prayers have a time, right? We got Chronos and Kairos. Prayers are time. You may pray a prayer in Chronos time. I prayed a prayer in Chronos time now that would not have worked in Chronos or Kairos years ago. But because God had me pray it now, it's in His will for the now. It works now, and I get it in Chronos and Kairos. I get it both ways, right? And I get the Chronos and Kairos blessings from it. I still wonder, why couldn't I have had it back then? Why couldn't I have experienced this back then? Because if I had, God, I may have known you a little bit better. I may have been able to do this thing a little bit better. I probably had let me explain to you guys about the whole sociopath. Because I don't want anybody thinking that because they're bipolar, they're sociopath. I'm talking about Jamie, first of all. And how much time I spend with God, and I take my medicine, I do what I'm supposed to do, and it's been 3 decades that I've been dealing with bipolar, even in therapy, and still getting ghosted by therapists, and treated wrong by therapists, Christian therapists. So don't think just because they say Christian on the door, that's just a sign for the door. This woman has, she calls herself Hope. There's hope everywhere in her office. They hope. And it's so pretty. Her office is gorgeous. She got this beautiful fountain. Her inside of her office, her room, looked like a bedroom. I would move in there today and discard this place. I'd love to. So beautiful. Because she calls herself Hope, but she has no hope. You call yourself Hope and then not offer any hope. Well, faith is some things hope for. Hope for. I had faith to believe that I would get better, right? As long as I was coming and talking to you, because that's what they told me I need to do, right? As a bipolar person, right? I had every belief that I would come and get better, but I just got no better, right? And I think she discarded me before I could discard her. Which is what happens, because I think they just realize at a point, even if you're a Christian, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're seeking God, you're running after the Holy Spirit, you're joy set before you, and during the cross, you got your eyes fixed on Jesus, the author, finisher of your faith, right? You are believing, right? You are praying, and you are effectual fervent prayer, the righteous man avails much, and right? You are meeting God. You said, no weapon formed against me shall prospering, right? You are meeting God like you are supposed to, right? Blessed men that walk with God and counsel of ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit the seat of scornful in, right? You are making joy for the Lord, all the answer, the Lord, the gladness come before His presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, He is God, and that He that avails, and not we ourselves. We are His people, and the sheep of His pasturing. You follow your shepherd, and you do your best, and yet and still you haven't changed. I was angry at her. Am I so angry at her for ghosting me? No. I think her ghosting me was a sign of her conceding defeat. And I think her ghosting me was in her mind, she told herself that she was doing it for me. She wasn't doing it for me. She was totally selfish in what she did, and it was nasty. And there's going to be consequences. I know there is. There's just going to be heavy consequences. You can't call yourself and hope and claim hope, but then ghost people. You can't do that. God will not let you mask yourself under the name hope and be demonic. And detonation. That's why I heard detonation. You call yourself hope, but you're really detonation. But I'm not looking for her. I'm hoping that she repents before that happens. But God turns everything for good. Because my pastor said to me, he said, Jamie, I'm gonna be your plan B. Not plan B, but backup. It was almost like we had a plan. I was like, yes, that's the way I saw it too. Well, she would be the A, and he would be the B, except she knew. So instead of signing a release, she ghosted me. So now, just dropped me. What that did for me is that gave me a better counselor. Because I got a therapist that's much better, 10 times better, right? I don't know how long she's going to last. But I've just dedicated myself to just doing what she tells me to do, doing it fast before she has a chance to detonate. Say some lies on that one. I'm focused. I'm like I was with her, I won't say the first name, with her, and Brian before her, right? And Shoshana Eisenberg before her. Since I was 13, I've been dedicated to getting better. It just hasn't happened. And so that's what I meant by sociopath, a miniature sociopath. In that, most people that are bipolar, right, if we could change, they wouldn't declare us disabled. And if people claim to be bipolar that are not, because people, when they test you, they tested me. That man was tested me for about 10 minutes. That next week he was like, no. You stay away from all public places. You sit down somewhere, you don't go to no job, you don't be around no peoples. People don't like you. People don't like you, and people's toes don't like you. They don't like it. Then when their fingernails don't want you around them, you stay home. You're abrasive. And that was nice. He asked me questions and I just answered them. He asked me about the president and he asked me to actually make a calculation. To add, and he just kept saying, add this. I was like, got it right? He's like, he looked at me and smiled. He's like, yeah, you did. And I got a notice saying I was disabled. Do you know how that feels? I never told anybody about this. The test, I took him my pill bottles. He said, I don't need to see that. They told him to bring the pill bottles. He's like, I don't need to see that. And I was going to take a clonazepam, right? Which you are not supposed to take for 10 years. But my doctor had me on it for 10 years. You're not supposed to take that, right? For anxiety, I'll take clonazepam. I think I'll take a Depakote and I'll take a lithium. And I said, yeah, I'm a math major. He's like, okay, add this. And I was like, okay, bam. I was like, got it right? He said, yeah. I was like, I said the alphabet backwards too. You want to see me do that? He's like, yeah. I did it. Yeah, I did it. And he smiled. He smiled nicely, so I thought I was going back to work. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I thought I was going back to work. Because I didn't ask for that. And he said, no, not you. You ain't gonna, no, not you. You know, not you. February 2nd, I still remember it. What's odd about it is this is how God works, right? See, I don't know what God is doing on this end, completely on this end. All I know right now, with everything in me, I would love to ask Pastor Dave to just take over Miss Linda Ellis's leg, or take over a leg, whatever the other leg, whatever it is. I would give him a Kirk's leg. Take it over, you can have it. But he's not supposed to do that. I know he's the supervisor, so he's supposed to be watching the stool. He's supervising the stool and making sure that the legs fall apart. He's watching the three, so he can't be a part of the three. Sometimes we make people a part of our three when the three are already busy working on you. Here's how that worked out for me. My job, I talked to my job and I said I have to go to the hospital for a while. They said, we know, we got the notice, right? So before I knew it, right, I came back, and the funny thing is they must have kept calling those people that I was living with, because they said, we've been calling to talk to you, and those people kind of like just kept putting us off. So we sent your unemployment, my job, Life Touch Portrait Studios, they do not give unemployment. They said, we sent your unemployment, your job to just say, give it to her. Just give it to her. That's exactly what they told me. They said that, and we sent your unemployment, and they're paying for your disability, no matter how long it takes. Because I worked hard, and when I say I worked hard when I was there, anything I do, I push myself, I put myself in the hospital, and they know it. And their thing is that they go on, we do not give disability, we do not give unemployment, we don't give anything to anybody, and they mean it. I have a woman at my church now, so I told her son, I said, listen, you gotta be careful. I said, because they do not do that. He said, how did you get it? I said, because I was the exception. I was like the only exception. I won Studio Manager of the Year 2 years in a row. I jumped 3 volumes of Capital in 2 different studios. 2 years in a row. I had so many awards that we stand and take pictures of them. I had so many awards that my boss had to hold some of them, and other studio managers had to hold some of them. They did not like me. They couldn't stand me. They sent me to Costa Rica. They sent me to Haiti. That job was terrible but nice, you know. In other words, they do not give unemployment. They do not give disability. They do not, no matter what you think, the disability that I have now, Life Touch Portrait Studios is paying. It's been 10 years. Life Touch Portrait Studios has to pay that. That's why they have disability insurance. Life Touch, the government ain't giving me nothing. Life Touch, when it comes to God and Life Touch Portrait Studios, and God took them and they said no matter how long it takes, I asked the woman, she said that they told me to send it to you, both the unemployment and the disability, no matter how long it takes to give it to you. That's crazy. Well, God makes you the exception to the rule. That's because I was following him. And he knew he was going to have me out so I could follow him. Don't tell me I'm abrasive when I do my blog. I'm in training. If it don't come from my pastor or don't come from God, I'm not listening to you. I'm in training with God. God has me occupied. You know, you go to the bathroom, it says occupied. They say occupied behind the this bathroom is occupied. Why? Because God has me behind the door of cleaning me up and washing me up. and making me over. I told her, I said, she said, I just thought you weren't ready. I said, you don't know if I'm ready or not. You don't know what ready means. Don't worry about my readiness. God has that. God's going to take care of my readiness. You're not to use that word. I didn't think. She kept saying, I didn't think you were ready. It was such a satanic thing. I didn't think you were ready. I just didn't think you were ready. I didn't bring you to the women's fellowship because I didn't think you were ready to stand before them because I didn't think you were ready to talk about what you've been through. I said, you don't have that authority. I mean, with them, yes, because they're a low-level nothing of something inside of the church. They have nothing. They're trash. As it pertains to God, who is the reigning authority. Holy Spirit is my authority. God is my security. Jesus is my identity. I have many miracles that I've seen and come through, and people just walk up to me and just give me money, right? Light Touch Fortune Studios put money in my hand, right? And I am a certified photographer, and I'm not even taking pictures. I haven't taken pictures since I was working with them, and yet still, they went against their own rules for me. And that's not all. That's not all. And I was going to take her to court, I could afford to pay the rent. But the landlord there, when she was leaving, the company, Sunshine Media, or whatever that is, she spoke to, I forget who it was, somebody in my church. I forget who it was that she spoke to. I think it was Pastor Tim. But she spoke to one of them, and she got me before Corinne stepped in, before the company housing authority. She said, I want you to get on this, Jamie, because if you get in on this, you will not have to pay rent. I told her, I said, I don't mind paying rent. It's not like I don't want a free ride. I was already disabled, so I didn't want a free ride, and I was happy being in Hagerstown. I'm so glad she said, just fill out the application, just one page. I'm so glad I listened to her. Because now I don't live there anymore. And despite what that woman has done, this woman, what God did for me, this woman, this is what God will do when people hurt you. Here's another example, because I was living with those people, right? And they're trying to take all the money from me. They stole the unemployment checks I had, and when I was in the hospital, the reason why they threw my stuff in my car like that and smashed my glass frames and did everything that they could to hurt me, right? The reason why they did that is because as a result of me coming back out of the hospital, and they knew it, they were going to have to give up the mortgage on the house and move. They couldn't stay in New Jersey anymore because they were taking all my money. They weren't going to work. They weren't doing anything. They were taking all of my money and spending it on their house. So God dry rotted their plan. So you have this woman, the therapist. You have them, right, having their dry rotted plan, and then now this. Pastor Tim is my witness. I got so many blessings from this because this woman, she could not evict me because I paid all my rent on time. And she said, well, now since you don't want to give us ACH, let's dig into your account. Now you're going to have to come and stand outside every morning, every month, and wait for us to come to pay your rent. And I stood outside every summer morning, right, needing them to operate on my eyes. I was outside in the heat. I was not supposed to be outside like that. But I stood out there for hours. When I got out there at 7 o'clock in the morning, I stood out there for hours. They would not receive me into the building. Nobody was waiting. There was nobody waiting to get in the building. There was nobody waiting to talk to them. They would not let me in the building to talk to them. No chairs, no nothing. I stood there. So this woman thought she was real smart, so she went up to the head of the corporation, and what she did was she switched my voucher. She's a very demonic, powerful woman. She switched my voucher, and Pastor Simpson, I said, why did she switch a voucher? She switched my voucher to a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment voucher. If she had left it at 1 bedroom, like I was walking around, could not see, and I was getting frustrated. So the more frustrated I got, my eyes would stop working. Still happens now. And so I'm walking around, it's heat outside, and I had to sit on the steps at this church, and I was scared of heights, and it was just a terrible situation. But I'm walking around trying to find apartments. I could not find one, and I'm on the disability bus trying to find an apartment. So it's not like I just get in the bus and get off the bus when I wanted to. No, you gotta wait for them to come back, and you only go to one place a day. So I was trying to find an apartment. I'm on my way out of there, and still going blind at that point, right? And so she switched my voucher from 1 bedroom to 2 bedroom. And even Pastor Tim knew that's what she said. I'm doing it. I did it because, in fact, I want you to have an art room. I just want you to have an art room, Jamie. No, she didn't. Her plan was, because like she said, she wanted to sit me outside in COVID so that I could die of exposure, so that the blood pressure of my eyes would destroy my eyes. That's what she said. Literally destroy, right? So that's okay. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Sweet dreams to me. That's nice. So she goes, but here's the thing. Here's how God will do it for you. Here's how God will twist it. You want to hear a testimony? Nothing that anybody does to me, I mean, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. None. Every time you form a weapon against me, it always works for my good. It come back like cherry cheesecake. Christina makes cherry cheesecake and it's really good. So I didn't know, I had to say something. But they always come back like cherry cheesecake. Yum, yum. So, oh, so look at that. I got cherry cheesecake. Ooh, one of my. Ooh, okay. Okay. She went and changed my voucher from 1 bedroom to a 2 bedroom. You know what that means? I can get a 2 bedroom apartment. This apartment is huge. It's bigger than my house that I had on Johnson Street. Bigger, and I had a 2-story house to myself. This apartment is bigger than that. Plus a deck, huge. I cannot fill it. I need a Harmony's like, okay, once you're rough for that deck, so you can stand out there, sit out there, look whatever you guys want to do. I don't have time. There's no way I could fill every piece of this apartment. It's so, the kitchen's big, the dining room that I do my artwork in is big, my office is big, my bedroom is big. It's a little small, but it could be bigger, right? The living room and my bedroom are about the smallest. But this is grand. The hallway is just ridiculous. Kristen Kraft, she's a police officer. She's like, Jenny, you told me you had a hallway that you had to walk down inside of your house, but you didn't tell me that you were climbing the letter of Jacob. Like, did you tell me I was walking to meet Jesus on the way to Truth and Light? You didn't tell me. You should have warned me. It's long. Miss D got me a runner, and it only covers half the hallway. It's long. It's ridiculous. 14 windows. I had 9 windows in my other place. 14 windows. And I know because we wanted to find curtains for everything. I'm just that type of person. I like to count my blessings. Right? 14 windows. And in that, this is what comes from following God. In that, right? She was going to give me a 2-bedroom voucher. Right? To switch my voucher off. She wanted to switch my voucher off. Why? Because she wanted to throw me off. Right? Because here's the thing. If I'm one person, it's not likely that a person will give one person, like one person standing in front of them, it's not likely that they will give one person a 2-bedroom house. I'm not giving you a 2-bedroom apartment for one person. Can you pay for it? You are disabled and it's 2 bedrooms. So I'm gonna give you more when you bring it in something that's kind of shaky and less. Disability can end at any time. I mean, it really can't because I'm total permanent disability. Like they won't let me. They don't want me near folk. Especially in customer service. So it's total permanent disability. But with total permanent disability, I got the house on Johnson Street, and with total permanent disability, God told me point up and pray. Remember that? Point up and start praying. He said, Jamie, your mountains are gonna still your mercy, your new mercy is gonna start to look like mountains. He said, point up out the window. He said, you point up out this window and you pray. Point up. And I said, God, if I look at it, right, when I'm pointing up at this place. I was living at 220 or 212 Jonathan Street, 212. That's my address. And I'm living at 232, 1 block up, pointing up.